The way people perceive you is how they're going to treat you. This is why appearance is so important. The way you look, the way you carry yourself, the way you speak, the way you represent yourself, the way you advocate for yourself, all of those things determine how people are going to treat you, to talk to you, to approach you. All of this matters. Looks, everything matters, right? Humans are not that evolved to look beyond what's in front of them. This is why attractive people tend to get treated better, right? This is why women tend to be accepted even when they have no value to contribute, right? Just because we're women, right? People want access to us. Men want access and other women want access to us, right? And so when you are talking about social skills, social currency, women are not versed in those things because we never had to be, right? So this is why women will get to a certain age and not know how to advocate for herself. Or you would have a young woman who is frustrated because she doesn't feel heard. Like, these things are normal amongst women because women are not required to be and do much. Most of us are just existing, right? And yes, we have to work and do these things. That's a part of being an adult. But when it comes to representing yourself, when it comes to reputation, when it comes to perception, you don't know how to control that because you never had to. You were just always accepted as a woman, right? Women accepted you because they wanted acceptance, and men accepted you because they wanted access to you and because you needed to be parented, right? Men have a superiority complex, especially when it comes to women, but I don't fault them for it. So I've made a joke in the past where I said, I want to speak to the adult in the relationship, which is the man, right? And, you know, there's truth in jest. And I've had a couple of occasions where that scenario did happen. That's where I got that joke from, where a woman would have an issue with me, right? And whether it or they don't know how to represent themselves, so they send their husbands, right? I've had this happen to me in like stores, in personal settings where I wouldn't even address the woman. It would be me and the man reasoning. And it's not anything to do with him wanting me or flirtatious or anything like that. It's just that I try to be nice with things because women are so sensitive, but women are infantilized, and a lot of things that plague women, a lot of issues women have, a lot of, you know, problems, and I don't pay attention to. I don't address it, right? And so if a woman has a problem with me, if her husband is present, or if she just doesn't know how to articulate herself, her husband will step in, and it's like two adults speaking and the child is standing to the side, right? And women often end up in that type of situation, right? Because women are, they don't know how to represent themselves. They don't know how to be adults, right? Being an adult is far beyond having sex with men, having babies, going to work, you know, these things that adults do that are normal adult responsibilities. That doesn't make you an adult. Life makes you an adult. Knowing how to articulate yourself makes you an adult. Knowing how to present yourself, represent yourself. A lot of women don't know how to do that, right? And they become very childlike in my presence. And so all of that stems from women just not knowing how to speak for themselves. And they end up in relationships with men where men just give them a pass. Most men are just tolerating women. They're just allowing you to say and do whatever because, one, they feel superior to you. Two, you're infantilized. Three, they want to keep the peace. It's like allowing a toddler to play as long as they're not hurting themselves. You know, I watch women in real time. I watch women on social media. And there are so many behaviors, tendencies, overt and covert, that keeps women in that inferior place. And women already have an insecurity. Women already feel inferior. And so when the presence of adults, usually adult women, right? Now, everyone in the group can be an adult, but I mean actually seated in her power as an adult woman. It makes women feel very childlike. That's why women are round to me because they feel like my daughters. They feel like a child. They feel chastised. They're not seated in their power. They don't really feel that way around men because men tend to cater to women. Even if they don't pander, men are not really honest about your behaviors. They're not honest about the effect you have on them. As long as they get access to you, as long as they get to look at you, as long as they get to be around you, you can be socially awkward, you can be dumb, you can be goofy, and men will tolerate it. And because women are not allowed to call out each other's behaviors, and because mainly men don't say anything because most women are pick-me's. Most women won't make a change until a man tells them to, right? Because of all these things, women remain stagnant in life. And when they decide that they want to grow up, it's done in a way, it's coming from a place of entitlement, not power, right? Not being a fully formed adult. It's coming from a place of, I'm tired of being silenced. I'm tired of being a child. Now I'm going to force my way into your world. Like, this is how women operate. It's very, very childlike. For instance, because women pride themselves on being educated and, being able to articulate themselves, the grammar police, right? You can say a instead of and they'll correct that, but they'll miss the entire message, right? Women can be snarky. Like, I was talking about this on Facebook the other day, and, I ignore women who, they're intelligent, right? I'm not going to take that from them, but their retort to my messages or their messages, it's snarky, it's intelligent, it's coming from a place of trying to prove themselves. It's not coming from a place of knowing themselves. See, women always keep in their mind that they have to prove themselves to people. They have to show people. People in positions of power don't have to do that. But women don't feel powerful. And I can tell by women what they talk about. I can tell how women try to assert themselves in spaces. The awkwardness of it all, because they don't even realize that this is not even appropriate to do in this setting. Women are extremely socially awkward. But because women get into groups and they pick up a head, right? And she better not get too high on her horse because they'll destroy her too. But they'll pick somebody to speak for them, a spokesperson, not even like a leader, a spokesperson. And they'll be the smartest one, or, they'll be the boldest one. Not that they're the smartest one, they'll be the boldest one. But even their boldness, it comes with a very like childlike way. Like, I'm the boss, mommy, I'm going to say what I need to say, type of thing. A lot of women are like this. This is why I say I don't argue with women and I don't argue in women. Because I'm not doing, it's when I speak to women a lot of times, it's like me speaking to someone in an inferior state. Right? And I'm almost sure, I can almost guarantee that that's how men view us. That's why they're not hard on us. Not because we're women only, it's because they don't think we're capable or competent enough to handle truth in real life. And in fairness to them, a lot of women aren't. You cannot ask for fairness, equality, and power if you're coming from a place of entitlement. Women don't understand the difference between entitlement and confidence. And because women oftentimes operate from entitlement, ego, women think that's like bossing up. It's not. It's off-putting. Because even if people are not able to articulate your behaviors, you come off, your energy is, it's entitled, like you're supposed to have what you're asking for. That's not confidence. That's not self-assurance. That's not empowerment, right? So women operate from this inferior place. The energy is inferior, but the words are superior. See, humans, I'm very good at articulating myself, as many women are, but my energy is different. So this is why women will call me condescending. They feel inferior to me. I don't take it as an insult. I know the effect that I have on women. And it's not the same. See, when women go back and forth with each other, it's like two children going back and forth. It's I'm not doing that with women. They feel the power within me. They feel the authority. This is why a lot of them feel inferior. This is why they call me condescending and mean and these things. It's not the same as they do it to a woman who is snarky and a smart ass. I can be those things, but I'm also a grown up. Women will say they don't care about what men think, right? Now, I know women are liars. The entire feminist movement and all of these movements that women have was geared towards men giving them something. And in order for men to give you something, you had to care about what they thought about you. Because how they thought about you is how they treated you, right? So you care about what men think. And the fact is, we are in a man's world until things change, right? And so you have to learn how to survive and thrive in a man's world, but not as an infantilized woman. A lot of you're still benefiting from men and patriarchy. You're still benefiting from it because men are not really holding women to any standard. See, they'll let us in the workforce. They'll let us do these things because they have to. Not because they think we're equal, not even because they respect us. A lot of men don't respect women. They're chivalrous to us. Women like the chivalry. They like the fact that they can use being a woman as a reason to not show up. I have my period. I'm emotional, right? Women want to be seen as adults and equal to men, but still want to run to men every time they have a problem. Right? You see this in women who may be connected to a man in a position of power or a position of authority, which is two different things, right? You can have authority but no power, right? And they'll still they'll go to him with like menial things that they can do themselves. Women like to be helpless in a lot of ways. And some of you claim that women are not supposed to work this hard, and, I'm feminine, and, you know, they're tired of this. And, you cannot have both, right? Either you're going to be an adult or you are not. Because if you're living and depending on a man, you are not a fully formed adult. I don't care what any of you are saying. If you still run to men for every little thing, like a child does to their parent, that's not going to be respected. Now, they're not going to disrespect you. They're not just going to look at you as their equal, because you're not. You're not in the world. We're not in the world doing what men do. We don't have to be, right? We don't have to be to gain respect, but you do have to be an adult. And a lot of you are just cosplaying. I listen to women. I listen to what they take pride in. So when I listen to a married woman, talk about, the benefits of being married, right? Which, nothing wrong with it. You should be benefiting from your spiritual binding, your union, right? But in the same breath, you're presenting yourself as if you're like some boss bitch, or you're so powerful, and you're in charge and all these things. It's a contradiction, because where is your power coming from? Right? Not that you cannot be powerful with a man, but it's not the same as a woman who is actually assuming her power without the assistance. A lot of you are being assisted by men. And again, there's nothing wrong with men benefiting you. But do you know who you are outside of him? And a lot of you don't. A lot of you are comfortable with having a safety net. So you can teeter the line of power, but safety. Men don't have the luxury of doing that. And this is why men will never see women as equal, because you can run to them and still run your mouth. Right? And so this is why I say me and married women have nothing in common. Because my power in the world is coming from me. Again, there's nothing wrong with, being assisted or taught or anything by men. But my life is not being shaped and molded by one. Right? And so I'm not running to someone to solve my problems. And women will try to dress it up and say, well, I don't have to, because I'm soft and feminine. So am I, baby. I don't ever have to touch a door. Right? I don't ever have to buy my own coffee. Right? So I am, chivalry is not a problem for me. Okay? But I also have work ethic, and I also understand how to command respect from men. Right? See, I don't run to men for everything. I don't want anybody to think I'm incompetent of menial tasks like a lot of women do. A lot of you run to men because you don't know how to do things, or you have the luxury of not doing it. This is why men will never see women as equal. Right? This is why I say I don't argue in women or with women. This is why when I was talking about earlier, if there's a man and a woman, a husband and a wife, I want to speak to the adult. I want to speak to the man. Right? Because he's coming from a place of authority. A lot of women are just hiding behind men. Right? Society values and respects women in relationships and marriages. You escape all of what comes with not being in that institution. We're not the same. And because a lot of women have escaped that, you don't know how to be social. You don't have to be. It's really deep, right? And women are not taught these things. And women really don't have to be. It's really up to women, because A lot of men don't want you to be mastered. They want you to be right where you are. And a lot of you like it. You get to pop your shit, you get to talk your shit, and then you run home to your savior. Men don't have that luxury. And those who don't have that luxury will never view those that do as an equal. And it's not to say we all should have a network and people that support us and all these things. I'm not saying that I don't have these things. I'm saying that I don't use it as a crutch like a lot of women do. Right? And so when you've used that as a crutch for most of your life, right? You don't know how to be social. You don't understand social settings. You're socially awkward. And this is why a lot of women are just overly expressive, because you think people give a fuck about what you got to say. You think you're important. That's that entitlement I was talking about. So there's a lot of things with this. I'm not going to make this into a series. I'm not even going to lie. I'm not going to say that. But yeah, social skills, social currency. I have a manifesto. I've done group sessions in the past. I will do them again. These are things, like, I can't tell you specifically because I don't know you personally, but I watch women in the world. I watch how awkward they are. I watch how they get over on men, or they think they're getting over, when men are just doing what they do because you can't do better. You can't do better for yourself. You're not competent, right? A lot of times it's not chivalry. It's pity.